bitter, bitter. Coming down on my rooftop. Me and my baby holding tight, doing alright. I hope it never stops. Oh man, I left the car out in the rain, and all the windows down. Oh, forget it. I tell your friend it's true, it's a pretty thing to go through, just between me and you. Yes, I have. Bitter, 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 bitter. Coming down on my rooftop. Me and my baby holding tight, doing alright. I hope it never stops. Bitter, bitter, bitter. Coming down on my rooftop. Me and my baby holding tight, doing alright. I hope it never stops. Yeah, bitter, 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 bitter. Coming down on my rooftop. Me and my baby holding tight, doing alright. I hope it never stops. Yeah, bitter, 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 bitter. Coming on down on my rooftop. Me and my baby holding tight, doing alright. I hope it never stops. Just for living. Life is just for living. See that cat sitting on the mat, thinking about what is what and who is who. That cat is me. That cat is you. See that guy staring in the sky, taking in the beat of the sun. He's having fun. That guy is me. That guy is you. Taking in today's vibrations, tomorrow's coming down slow. Taking it free and easy, that's the only way to go. Yes, I'd rather be me, rather be free, to be myself my way, that's how it's got to be. This is a song the young men sing. Life is just for living. Life is just for living. Like a star, leaning at the bar, rapping to my pals, rapping about the gals, bottle in my hand, living 'cause I can. Taking in today's vibrations, tomorrow's coming down slow. Taking it free and easy, that's the only way to go. Yes, I'd rather be me, rather be free, to be myself my way, that's how it's got to be. This is a song the young men sing. Life is just for living. Life is just for living. Life is just for living. just for living. Life is 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 just for living and loving. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ya. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ya. Another happy home for sale. One more love is filled. Two more fools have tried, but they got so much pride inside their hearts they don't believe in giving in. Oh, they know they both can't win. One's right, one must be wrong. But forgiving makes a love grow stronger. And the pieces of your love are scattered far and wide. Bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground. Just forget your foolish pride. Let peace and love abide. Bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ya. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ya. Don't fuss and fight no more. Love can open any door. Love will find a way to bring you happy, happy days now. Forget your sorrow now. Live for tomorrow now. And never let your children pay for anything you said today now. And the pieces of your love are scattered far and wide. Bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground. Just forget your foolish pride. Let peace and love abide. Bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ya. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ya. When the pieces of your love are scattered far and wide. Bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground. Just forget your foolish pride. Let peace and love abide. Bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground. When the pieces of your love are scattered far and wide. Oh yeah. Just forget the foolish pride. Let peace and love abide. Bend down, pick them from the ground. I'm on forward on a different scene. I'm on Collyweed. I'm on Queen. Everything was siren, getting in the groove. I just come down to moment when someone says, don't move. Well, it must be a dopey or a gunman. I'm on the final yet. I so frightened. All the daughter name I forget. Well, it must be a dopey or a gunman. I never stopped to see. Harry was a boy that I man last night. He couldn't follow, he couldn't follow, he couldn't follow me. Next thing the doctor asked me, what happened to you last night? Just when you're ready for the work you show, your catch stage right. It was a dread from across the gully, just passing through. Decide to run a little joke It wouldn't trouble you. Well, it must be a duppy or a gunman. I man the final yet. I and I so frightened. All the daughter name I forget. Well, it must be a duppy or a gunman. I never stopped to see. Harry was a boy that I man last night. He couldn't follow. He couldn't follow. He couldn't follow me. One thing I learned for certain, spread it round the town. No make no sense you start to run before your foot touch the ground. Well, me know say out they will bitter. Me know say out they will dread. Nobody get heart failure. Nobody lose your head. Well, it must be a duppy or a gunman. I am man no final yet. I and I so frightened. All me underwear I forget. Well, it must be a duppy or a gunman. I never stopped to see. Safa was a boy that I man last night. Blake couldn't follow, Holt couldn't follow. Nobody could have followed me.
The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, in association with the Ministry of Tourism, presents Echoes of Sound Systems. It's a dance hall thing. Join the Zoom party. Echoes of Sound Systems.
It's the dance hall thing.
Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism with kind support of the Chase Fund, TEF and JTV present Reggae Month's Echoes of Sound System Champion Soul.
Remember the people who can't be together throughout this whole pandemic, you know, we're still on doing wicked and we are doing loud and we are doing live streaming.
And you don't know this is a very important undertaking because this is a very vital and integral part of Jamaican culture. You see that sound system thing, ya boom boom?
Well put together.
Let them know why it is so important for Jamaicans and Jamaican culture, if you're youth like you.
Because at the end of the day, we still keep the culture of the music, you know what I mean?
And that it make you can even have a livelihood as well as duty feed people and them know what man?
No, because the music now, what we grew up on, so now I say, and the culture of our music play a big role. So now I say,
no joke about it.
So watch. So, 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 listen them on cassette.
Introduce them, no man.
No, we're going to witness it live now. The great Black Scorpio. And over here, King Jammy's.
Legendary. And while we're in introductions, we're going to go straight to three important people when it comes to sound system culture right now, and even entertainment culture on a whole, starting with the God. Father Witty, Michael Whittingham. Father Witty.
Uptown Mondays boss.
Beside you now, we have the boss himself, Lenworth Squeeze Samuels. Yeah. You know, where the sound effects up there we have, you know it. Yeah, man, drop a sound. Line up some bombs too, line up some bombs. Because you see the third judge over there, son. The third judge over there, son. You don't mind shopping my fire DJ song food because I did pass, you know, Admiral, Bailey.
Yeah, man, respect, man. Microphone always on Sharon phone, every phone I work, man.
All right, first of all, give it a quick introduction. Make we know, you know what I mean? You're a quick bio up on you as well as what you are look forward to or expect today.
Well, all right, the world know Admiral Bailey himself, and you know, we're at the dance hall quite a while now, and you know, back in the days when you have the clash them in the dance hall where we as artists have a spin on the part too, so we are come from far with it and know where it come from. So we just ask the sound man them, well professional in the business long time, just be yourself, drop the tune them, and just make we go and rock to the tune them, and we don't know say too big sound, and we know it got nice, so we there, Squeeze with him myself there for us listen to one half a drop and just deal with it accordingly.
Rich move. Heading right back over to the general them now. Father with you get the microphone. I'll be able to help you get my microphone.
Yeah, man.
All right, you are going then. You are going. Since I hold on.
Welcome to Sound Clash Echoes. Welcome everybody to the place, and we have a clean and fair thing tonight, and we're looking forward to everybody to we are the judge, we are judging it properly and all that.
So Father Witty, you're not going to tell them, say, over 16 years, you have promote Uptown Mondays, one of the hottest street dance them on the dancehall scene right now?
Well, actually, Uptown Mondays is 21 years now.
You see it? You see it?
Going strong.
That a go on.
Yeah, man.
So it's a very important person to be on the judging panel. Squeeze, talk to it.
Yes, I represent for the industry from the operations of JAPS entity. JAPS, the group of Jamaican professional sound systems and professional DJs and so forth. It's with great honor I represent them today and be one of the judges. 45 years in the business and still going strong. And I'm looking forward to great things from this Echoes of Sound event.
Dr. Go on, hold on for the microphone there. All right, you are going now. Let me just do a quick explanation and a quick rundown so everybody out in the world where you right now have an understanding of how things will go down and are go up right now. All right, first round is the juggling round. There's 5 things that each sound is going to be judged upon. So it's the mixing ability, energy of the set, the technicality, the coordination, and the performance. The juggling round, they'll get a maximum of 10 points each. The challenge round, which is the second round, they'll get a maximum out of 6 points. And in the third and final dub for dub round is a maximum of 4 points. All right? So, with that said, so King Jammies, are you ready?
A Jammies sound.
All right. War time now.
Yeah. You personally letting the people them out invite out to the love to come in here. The party of the man and say King Jammies and Black Scorpio there music I go shoot out. Yo, hear me now. I don't like what I go on from one day when I turn on TV and see. Oh, them are deal with black people over the world. It don't look good. A time for we as black people unite and be one and be strong. You see that song I play? Request to all who don't like what I go on over the world and know say unity with you say.
the philosophy which old one race superior and another inferior.
What's his suit man a scam?
Is finally.
What's a kid man a burn him lighter?
Permanently.
Look out there, son.
Discredited.
What's your one dancer move?
And abandoned. Everywhere is war. It's a war.
And a sound war will come. Sound war. I don't like real war when man a shoot man. But you see sound war, and that me believe in, huh?
Why, watch this. Hey, Mr. Undertaker, build them a coffin.
No. I just got them him
No, my mistake. Make that too.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Say one for them selector, one for them owner. Lordy. Can't you see that my sound is taking over? Enough sound come one cross we border. But I know that my sound of the mother cause we do the killing, them do the burying. I feel me sound, no wrong, a skin grin. We do the killing, them do the burying.
Back with just some real backbone reggae music from Jamaica now.
What a la. Papa Jammy in the area. Ooh, what a la. Papa Jammy in the area. We will ram dance all and we call party. Papa Jammy in the area. We will ram dance all and we call party. Papa Jammy super power. Ooh, what a la.
Now me I gonna big up the people them right now. We're rolling a party tonight. I know say you come here for all the good vibes. See ya.
Get ready.
Now could the rest of them move on him too?
Tell your friend
yes, Rasta.
Get ready. Ooh,
see ya now.
like a soldier with a gun and a rabbit on the run. King Jam is at the sun, come to throw them down. The room shaka shack, come listen livestock. Get ready. We come. Tell your friend come again. Get ready. Ooh, music so nice, have to play twice. King Jam is sound of the ragamuffin choice. 0 degree, solid as ice. That's the reason why.
Make we fire some music round here now.
So get ready. We come. Tell your
We are gonna kill them with it. We are gonna kill them with it. Come follow me. Kill them with it. We are gonna kill them with it. Kill them with it. We are gonna kill them with it. Kill them with it. We are gonna kill them with it. We set them rubber lyrics. I'm gonna kill them with it. I'm gonna fuck some rubber and we are gonna kill them with it. I'm gonna build the romantic. Don't be not gonna see us shoot up your lighter. I'm picking the that means that you want to sound there. Kill them with it. We are gonna kill them. What's it your chicken man? Kill them with it. Shoot up your lighter now.
Well, a King Jam is superpower and easy for Jammy. Not allow us tremble lip down jokes. One shot, one kill, take no prisoners, cast to us to fate. When a sound boy dies, it's King Jam. He's killed them. Always killing sound. King Jam is the roughest sound around.
Just give praises. What's it tonight in the national?
Oh, watch out, and I'm going out and coming in. Yeah, we are murder jump on channels. Kill them one by one, yeah. Going out and coming in. Why? That means a murder jump on. Hey, fling them in a jump on. Look on, boy, can't walk with them and a star.
Big up all who know the warrior man never see a face it and it never will. Big up all who know you have a clean heart. You hear me now?
Music, we do music because of this. Oh, well, now, round the mountain.
Now see the dancer catch a fire
fire burn a weak sound. And then free time could never get me down. And though they try to use I and abuse I, we leave them with a frown. King Jam is gonna fire burn a weak sound. And then free time could never get me down. Though they try to use I and abuse I, we leave them.
No, me go for the youth from Spanish Town now. Cause me like how the rest of them are scam. Me like how the shorty they are scam.
Could not get down.
The party look good. The dance look good.
How many life?
You ready?
King Jam is a murder sound again.
No, see the gate they are shoot down. The 500 of them appear. A 500 of them come in and gate. See the gate are shoot down there.
Well, I say I grew up listening to the great King Jam. We keep the people them grooving. The wall I want a house skanking, and we irate tell them.
Any sound test?
The great Jam is it not go pretty. Yes, we murder sounds in every city. When we play, what a sound play like. Chihuahua la la la, El Jamana. No water house we wanna, that's where we come from. I represent the King Jam is cause you worry.
A sound where we come to save no song tonight.
Time for nice obsession, strictly.
So make we play some big tune around here with our vibes.
Yeah, you know, play by the King jamming sound system. Vice of the band called Big Gangs, that top ranking, for the gully banking, keep this skanking. Yes, Lion Youth, how you mean? Some sounds we understand, King Jam is a #1. Don't you grudge him when I don't play try. Speak of love tomorrow, you'll be doing good, my brother. You're working for the greatest cause. And he without sin made out the first stone, and not even a pebble can cast. No, I'm some little sound boy, I go like say them, but King Jam is comfy, kill sound fast. King Jam is comfy, kill sound fast. King Jam is comfy, kill
fast. Kill nobody. No contract killing thing.
Kill sound fast.
Love and unity, we say only killing and sound killing. What's up?
Well, alright then. Me now watch no face, make no more pardon. Enough drugs, money, they are cherry garden. No individual society applauding. You can ask King Jam is where them get them starting. But enough politician take a donation. So enough criminal will never see a station. Them never see a cell, not even a courthouse. But every Sunday we see them take a boat out. Not post resort and car dealership. The construction company, them just don't legit. Them using washi money, turn it round and hide it. When they kick back them community government denies it. So, police cancel operation. Cause Jamism now go on no station. Hey, now if you check his situation. Whoa, a King Jam is running there.
No, that's only a rock stone in a dance.
Looking at Jamaica.
And a joke thing.
Injustice in
so yeah, you're gonna mix and shame and tell them what one.
King Jam is
them right now, King Jam is sound boy killer.
Yeah.
Kill the boy and bury the boy right now.
sound boy killer.
Sound clash style. Kill him. Generation.
Sound clash winner. King Jam is.
Yes, Rasta, what them boys. So I gonna.
King Jam is sound there. Self-employed cannot get there. But that sound we kill can't even get a day off. Who they got to stop we know them find out so them way off. All right then. Say one by one. Everybody knows that King Jam is on a champion.
All who love the sound of King Jam.
One by one.
Push up the light and they gonna them.
I'm sorry, kill boy Jam. They said Jam is not the place, so get up and rock and listen music that you want. Get up and rock, tell them say Jam is when the young on me. Get up and rock with me, dance all lively. Get up and rock with the music that you want to get it. Right round the clock, come now. Music for you jump and win sound class. Jam is a compress you and simple them about a talk. Same place them test you, same place them flop. Oh, Jam is not the place, so must have when the sound clash and the music that him play. Must have when the sound clash and jump and get flop. Jam is when the sound clash and Jam is gone pan top. Jam is when the sound clash, but tell him how we are big bad Jam is.
Hey, pull up, you know. I know a reggae month, you know, we come out mad and mean, you know, you understand? Yeah.
Follow. That was Jamis.
Big selector voice, so get a move.
Oh, Dave, come here.
Alright, so what go on now?
Well, we just hear from Jamis juggling round. You know what I mean? So right now, we are going to Black Scorpio. With it, legend. You see? So, we are set by the clock now. And look on the clock. 10 minutes juggling round.
Starts now.
Take it away.
Yeah. Give thanks for the moment of this. This is a history moment for Scorpio and Jammies and for the whole music fraternity. You know what I mean? Reggae man. Big up. So, you see right now, you don't know me now. I'm going to play a tune with Barrington Levy, my first start tune as a young Barrington Levy. I want to listen keenly. Run it. Listen. Music lesson. Listen. Scorpio style.
There is a choice of sounds. There's a choice of sounds that going around. You have the Gemini sound. You have the Virgo sound. You got the Jammy sound. You got the Papa Road sound. But one sound turn me on. Black Scorpio.
Pull it up now.
I love you. Spabadap, spab, spabadap, spab, spab, spabadap, spab, spabadap. Black Scorpio shall play as long as he lives, and as long as he lives, sound shall die, son boy shall cry, we not tell no lie. From in the 70s, from when fans have beat down the fences, long before Volkswagen took over Bentleys, and before dub plate gets so expensive. When Pickney a fly kite and a play gig, barefoot pants are wear and the pants look big. Them time the trooper was just a little kid and Tony Mataran still a piece up him crib. Them days the sky juice belly never big. We power we are after we look like we. You know when I laugh. Black Scorpio sound. A 50 years we are celebrating. And with a lightweight. Black Scorpio are bad from in the 70s. From when fans have beat down the fences. Long before Volkswagen took over Bentleys. And before dub plate gets so expensive. Mama, Scorpio sound a murderer. Jack how we run the border. Papa, Jack who's gonna big time slanter. And just tell them to move, you know. If they feeling bad like a way, you know. If you don't feeling no wicked like a way, sound test, you know. If you don't feeling no bad like a way, test, you know. If you don't feel, no ice cream sound. No ice cream sound. Some boys, I don't want no ice cream sound. It's too soft for me. Black Scorpio, the roughest sound. I don't want no ice cream sound of the soft can't you see? Get Black Scorpio now. I want a sound that can kill a little symphony in a sound class. That's Black Scorpio. I want a sound that can kill a symphony anytime, and that is why I say, son boy, don't put your head where you can't reach it. It doesn't make no sense.
Junior, Mervyn, them Junior some foundation tune from way back when, but you don't know. Real tune or real tune?
Adjust yourself to full jump and sound.
I see right now, come on, let's go off your anthem. Listen to anthem here. Listen to anthem here.
Raga.
Ragamuffin for Scorpio, you a murderer. Ragamuffin for Scorpio, you a dangerous. Ragamuffin for Scorpio, you're a slaughter.
One more time out of the top of the tune. Watch this. Ragamuffin sound. You know Ragamuffin sound.
Ragamuffin for Scorpio, you a murderer. Ragamuffin for Scorpio, you a dangerous. Ragamuffin for Scorpio, you're a slaughterer. Ragamuffin for Scorpio, man, you're big bout ya. You can run dance all in any area. You can run it from corner straight round to center. People jump out and shout and holler out your danger. So them send your passport visa and you come America. Ragamuffin Scorpio for you a murderer. Ragamuffin Scorpio because you're big bout ya. Ragamuffin Scorpio because you a dangerous.
We burn them out. Let's stop you. The Almighty, you go take grip. I said the Lord will not forsake you. Black Scorpio sound. Janaga make we suffer by the hands of the wicked. So when some soul go a liquor, we no care if they hate me. Boy, oh my God, now forsake we tell them Scorpio. Janaga make we suffer by the hands of the wicked. Listen, Black Scorpio, them want to be your things, them know them can't. Can't do without the cause and of psalms to chant. The Lord's my shepherd, I shall not want. Jamaica read the blessing, cause I good things to plant. He make it. I'm follow me now. Mix this. Hey yo, Black Scorpio, rush them like a pit bull. Mix with a rattim, clap them like a rifle. Mix with a platim, and up of them. Love the watching, chatty like a people. Down mix with a motor massive. Try no mix up the original with common copy. No mix up Black Scorpio sound with some clapping. Yo, no rent a dread, no for your mix up with no nothing. No patch and dread, no for your chat bouncing. I say I'm a love the girl, them caramel. A little coffee. She pinky when she ready, but she know when she feel classy. Hey, Scorpio have the peanut, blend up with the machine. Ride it like a cyclist. Mix with a jockey. And you know what's gonna happen when the mommy mix it pumping. 9 months later, baby, wrap up in and nap him. You know money you make, filthy rich mix with the happy. When you tell about the dope bag, mix with the attache here. Scorpio a gangster, Al Capone, mix with the...
I want the DJ win. Baby, I want them. Carlton. Falcon. Jack, you're afraid of nothing at all. Sure. Even know who them run come this. I chat about them 9 welcome man, cause Black Scorpio, we no feel the sound. But a bad man, a bad man sound. Well, certain boy I pop and I send them trick. Well, none of them don't know, cause them no find out yet. Got them on the big curfew. Man a bad man sound. Sweeting out them one at a time. Lock them away while the sun don't shine. Though they're crying, now they're begging for their lives, yes. And this we now them never realize. Take things cool cause we don't make them no nicer. While boy talking, Jack Scorpio working under this.
No sound boy can't screech across nobody when Koof with champion sound. No way.
No
Them just can't screech across nobody when Koof with champion sound.
Listen.
Say, them can't screech across nobody when Koof with champion sound. No way. Them just can't screech across nobody when Koof with champion sound. And so me say, some boy go open the coffee.
All right, pull up.
When we don't.
For we are bad sound. We are rough sound. We don't play with people. And we go all for angles in our music. Run the cartel.
You know, say the war teacher DJ represent likewise for Black Scorpio. How are the some boy? Hear me say now? I hear them somebody been playing a bag of barber. But them can't send up to Scorpio.
Cause the boy run like a wounded dog. Broke you seeing record. Don't run. Black Scorpio tell him say don't run. Black Scorpio what the last sound standing. Black Scorpio move the goalie banking. Corner your barber shop and remember next year. No do no more damn thing. Black Scorpio the last sound standing. Up here big matic shoes not bring. We no go out like one play. Log on for you to watch the thing.
Me nah let me Uzi. Susie Wang. She a Japanese, I'm a black man. Me live in Miami, but she live in Japan. But she a 18, but me pass 21. And every weekend she come me long distance. I'm talking on the phone, I want to come up.
Son about that, fool, son about that, we tell them, son about that, hey, son about that, we tell them, son about that, fool, son about that, we tell them, we tell them, we tell them, we tell them, son about that, come here with them idiot, do them better ease off, breeze off, Blood Scorpio, them will kill them, no them better ease off, breeze off, kill them already and them come back again, them better ease off, breeze off, we tell them run and see them come back again, them better ease up, breeze. How would them look up for them want to come test? Fuck up in a Black Scorpio, you know them get them.
Sound like a dead in here. How do them?
Black Scorpio, black
Operation!
Sharp! Well, boom, boom. You never born when them song there release?
No, I'm a little boy. What about that, you know?
I tell you, you see how far dance all forward from the
man.
artist selected on the streets right now, never even born when them song there.
I tell you something, I love the juggling round. I think the man them come and play some, like, some 2015 song. You know, when they get the real 90s, 80s juggling, the real dancehall. Juggling, yeah. So I say, yeah, man. We love them song, man.
So what we just experienced a while ago was the very first round, 10 minutes of juggling each. And right now, we just want to have a friendly, we just want to have a remind everybody that this is a friendly competition. We don't even want to call it clash. This is a friendly competition just to pay homage to sound system culture in Jamaica. You don't know, and we'll keep it clean, right? Now, before we move forward to round 2, we have to speak to the elite ones. You know what I mean? We're going to kick it off with Father with himself. Talk to me, how was that round for you?
Well, may I tell you, Jack, boy, I know. Yeah, jump up and down, you know, Jack. You still have it, you know, Jack. You still have it, you know, Jack. I'm proud of you.
Give thanks, man.
King, you're rolling now. The energy, you know, really are going. So get with it. That friendly competition, you know. So step up.
That's a go on. Mr. Squeeze.
Well, I am entertained continually by Jack, man. Jack, you entertaining. It's a pretty papa. Jam is not there for sure. His dancing moves though. But anyway, some wicked selections from Jammies and nice juggling from Scorpio. So, and we'll get a score them later.
Yeah. So, all right, next up right now is none other than the third judge himself, Admiral Bailey.
Well, you know, I have to agree with my fellow judges in terms of the first round. King Jammins start out. They will tell you the difference in the juggling, you know, because me have to deal with it from where me I come from. I know the juggling thing, but right, Jammins I never like how you start out in terms of. You start out with a Bob Marley, which is a culture artist, and they just shoot from there so and go right in a killing. To me, that juggling they all about the place. You know what I mean? Some of us say it as it is. Scorpio now on the other hand, from an old school man like me, where I something like juggling. You know, Scorpio start out on a rhythm, and various artists on the same rhythm. Yeah, and a juggle, and I think right through the juggling, you know, it was consistent in terms of the kind of tune they were play. But early days, you know, but I just might look that and is a early good look so far.
Reggae month is February. February is Reggae month. Come catch the rhythm virtually. We gone online totally on Reggae Month TV. Mega reggae concerts, interesting reggae documentaries, informative reggae symposia, and lots more. Online daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on PBCJ, Jam Vision, JCDC Facebook page, and several other cable and social media platforms. Details available on the Reggae Jamaica mobile app. Reggae Month TV. Tune in daily and be entertained and informed.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat. Up inside your heart.
Whoa.
Heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. RediscoverJamaica.com.
The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, in association with the Ministry of Tourism, presents Echoes of Sound Systems. It's a dance hall thing. Join the Zoom party Echoes of Sound Systems.
It's the dancehall king.
Do you have the Reggae Jamaica mobile app on your phone? No? Well, you could be missing out on news, views, interviews, events, and so much more about the impact of reggae music across the globe. Information at your fingertips about Reggae Month and other exciting reggae events. That's the Reggae Jamaica mobile app, now available in the Apple or the Google Play Store. Get it now!
Everybody wanna feel.
Want them from here because right now I go straight into round 2. Alright, you see now this round now, this is the challenge round. So you see for the challenge round, boom boom. What the challenge?
The great Dennis Emmanuel Brown.
So what that means now is that each sound is gonna play five Dennis Brown songs. Play your top 5 too. As the coin toss decided, King Jammy is going to go first, and them get to play for them 5 Dennis Brown. You see after that?
Scorpio, I'm going to play for them 5 Dennis Brown. I remember, you know, a whole heap of song Dennis Brown have, you know, so when you can't fret, so who I'm going to play first and who I'm going to play second.
That's one. So alright, after that it's back to the judges. So with no further delay or ado, it's over to King Jammy's kick it off.
Take it away!
See how many people that we are with love and unity. No bad mind. That song, yeah. The great prince, Dennis Emmanuel Brown. Right.
Love and hate can never be friends. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sit down.
Here I come with love and not hatred.
Surely goodness and mercy
shall follow I all the days of my life. Envy no one, no wish to be with no evil man.
Oh yeah.
For then comes the day when you'll be grieved by the Father's hand.
Big up all the people that may have gone down and Wappy kill fill up. All of the hell of them.
Oh yeah. Leave a pastor.
You know me have to play that song, you know.
Proud Prince of Reggae, Dennis Emmanuel Brown. Hear me again. You know, see what's going on in the world.
Do you know what it means to have a revolution? And what it takes to make a solution? Fighting against oppression. Ooh, yeah. Battering down depression.
Oh yeah. And this is one of my favorite, Dennis Emmanuel Brown. What me know?
When I wake up in the morning with my hair down in my eyes,
and she says,
and as I stumble to the breakfast table while the kids were going off to school, goodbye.
What up?
morning sun.
Hey, hear me now. Hey, Dennis Brown sings so much big song, so much gold. But me have to play that one before my time starts. If you have a woman, you have to ask her these questions big and serious. Just say, baby,
should I have faith in you? Should I put my trust in you? And should you let me down? Should I flirt around?
What now?
Why should I think this way? Thinking that you're going away. There ain't no way we'll stay together anymore.
Guess what?
Am I to go on now, living this way?
Hulo! Bah! Boom boom! Round one, first sound, King Jam is other one.
Well, to tell you the truth, we need some energy. So may I say, yeah, we need some energy from King Jam. The selection and the song them are alright, but the intro, you know what I mean, and we need some energy from the DJ.
That's a go on. Alright, well said. Moving forward then, over to the next legendary sound, none other than Black Scorpio.
Take it away!
Yes, my brother, give thanks again for this moment. Dennis Brown, rest in peace. You're my friend, you're my mentor, you're my brethren. I see that month when you're regiment. Are you make them dedicate a month here now, you and Bobby now? Or it's true you're born the first. I'm dedicated to you. No! You see my Dennis Brown I play first. It's a Dennis Brown I and I producer. Now, why I produce, and I'm sending it to the world, and to the world of people, and to the whole world. For the message that mean a lot to me, as a producer, as a man who going in the studio at the moment, for that moment, it's like me and Dennis Brown sit down, and just get up, and we just walk going to the studio, and when we walk going to the studio, the rhythm I play. I hear the tune of the man come up with now. That's when we hear the melody alone, I say, go and device him back deep out for, that's how it work. Dennis Brown. Stop your production. Listen.
Hold on. This is for real. Whoa, yeah.
People,
why can't I be your friend for life? Ooh, yeah. You know that I'll always want to be by your side. Ooh, yes. Say you give me joy and happiness, and I feel good all over. Love and happiness, let us be like crimson and clover, and all I ever wanted to do.
Because enough great work me and Dennis Brown do. I will make tune for y'all, make the peace, for that's why Dennis Brown left them great message here. But listen to the ladies them, the woman them, we make tune for one or two, you know, for we love woman bad, you know. Test that tune on me play, to all women all over the world who know that tune, I run it, Black Scorpio production. Listen them tune. Listen people.
Since you've been away, I've been down and lonely. Since you've been away, I've been thinking of you. Try to understand the reason you left me. Where were you going to, girl?
Sing out, ladies!
I've been missing you, yeah. Tell me why the road.
I know what, pull up, run the next one, fast. But listen to this now, fight magic this.
Hold on, magic.
Dennis! Original! Listen to great difference!
Love is never too
late. Pull up, them two are too bad. Chano, we can't take them two are too bad. Pull up. Chano, Diva, real artist. Listen to people. Listen.
Love is never too
brother. I love you so much, Dennis Chano. And boy, young Gregory is like part of my heart just move and go one side. If you know, I want to do it, you know. And then great music here what Dennis Brown left. All my brothers and my sister, the people them all over the world. And the youth them want to fight. Hear the message of Dennis Brown. Listen to the message I want to Prince smell them. Listen to the message. Listen to the message.
Fighting your brothers every day doesn't make no sense at all.
No sense at all.
Walk down the road, you see an innocent man. You rob and stop and shoot him down.
What one, sir?
When you think it's peace and safety, it's sudden destruction.
Dennis, man. I'm feeling it to the bone.
And find your trace.
Stop the killing and the shooting. My brethren.
My brethren. Make it easy on
Yes, man.
yourself.
Pull it up. Them tune make me feel like the boy Chano.
Sister, you feel it, yeah, Scorpio.
Oh,
See?
Chano. Them tune make me feel. Now one more we play now.
You have one more?
No, for that.
Me not count that you for tell me. What's that one more, man?
A four me play, that's all. One more man, let me play the for where I go.
Reach up your line.
The promised land.
Reach up your line.
Reach up the line. How are you talking
now.
about? Dennis! I'm great. I love you, Dennis, bro. Every day of my life. Right
The
here.
promised land. Going
To the promised land. Pull up and come one more time, too. I'm too not to play with the world here. Jamaica! The world!
The promised land.
Listen, Jamaica!
Yes, the promised land.
The promised land, man.
To the promised land. Well, make a step down to Asmara. Then we stopped in Addis Ababa. Made our way to Shashamaniland. Riding on the King's Highway. To the promised land.
Pull up.
Whoa. Whoa. What's that, Jay? Now I wonder if Jack now gonna play my favorite D Brown, Promised Land.
I said, take it to the promised land with our
Yes, man. That is my one. That is one of my favorite D Brown.
All right, well, say no further. Because right now, we see say Jack did a feeling, but we need to find out now if the judges them did a feeling. So, Father Witty,
I mean, I tell you,
are you in the promised land?
my favorite song. What may I tell you, I wish Jammin' there to defend this thing, you know. Honestly, I feel Jammin' should have there to defend this thing. Because Jack can manipulate this thing, you know. Yeah, to be honest, Jack can manipulate this thing. And Jammin' should have do better himself. I know that. Because that choice is a song limited to Jammin'. But Jack, you do your homework, Jack.
Jack of all trades. What you say, Squeeze?
Boy, man, I tell you, it's a serious thing. The young men from Jam is really doing well. They played some of the key songs for Dennis Brown, but when it comes to the core and the roots of the music, Scorpio really hit it like a target. So that round kind of tight still.
What's the experience of show?
Yeah, man.
So the king I say, I know, King Bailey.
Yo,
yeah, well, when it comes on to Dennis Brown sings some big song that it all depends on where you like listen to your ears. You call the one the bigger one or the one the bigger one. Well, in my view, I think Jamaica play some favorite Dennis Brown where Wally Bowie love. I just said Jack put on in the roots of the Dennis Brown. I just think the difference in the round was the performance and the energy. Yeah, I think Jack have more energy and we see more performance out of Jack. Jammers, I just think we don't want to put some more performance, especially man with on the talkaphone, but I put some more energy and some more, performance and everything. I just think that lack make if anybody again the edge now, them would have get jacked. But in terms of the tune them close. But I just say energy, brother. Let's put some energy in it, man. Trust me.
See, there's some constructive criticism from the judges. They don't know them thing, that's why them there. And right now, we're going straight into the third and final round, which is
the best round, tune for tune.
Yo! Alright, I could give a quick explanation right now. Tune for tune, the third round, it is going to be 10 songs each. So basically, as the coin toss decided, King Jammies will kick it off and go first to play Freedom song. Each sound can have a maximum of 1 minute. Them can pull up the song at any time before the limit of 1 minute, and then it's over to the next sound. And we do that for 10 rounds straight, alright? So 10 songs each. Where's that? Judges, are you ready? Sound systems, are you ready?
Reggae month is February. February is Reggae month. Come catch the rhythm virtually. We gone online totally on Reggae Month TV. Mega reggae concerts, interesting reggae documentaries, informative reggae symposia, and lots more. Online daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on PBCJ, Jam Vision, JCDC Facebook page, and several other cable and social media platforms. Details available on the Reggae Jamaica mobile app, Reggae Month TV. Tune in daily and be entertained and informed.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. RediscoverJamaica.com.
The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, in association with the Ministry of Tourism, presents Echoes of Sound Systems. It's a dance hall thing. Join the Zoom party. Echoes of Sound Systems. It's the dance hall thing.
Do you have the Reggae Jamaica mobile app on your phone? No? Well, you could be missing out on news, views, interviews, events, and so much more about the impact of reggae music across the globe. Information at your fingertips about Reggae Month and other exciting reggae events. That's the Reggae Jamaica mobile app, now available in the Apple or the Google Play Store. Get it now!
Everybody wanna feel.
And right now, we're going straight into the third and final round, which is
the best round, tune for tune.
Yo! Alright, I could give a quick explanation right now. Tune for tune, the third round, it is going to be 10 songs each. So basically, as the coin toss decided, King Jammies will kick it off and go first to play Freedom song. Each sound can have a maximum of 1 minute. Them can pull up the song at any time before the limit of 1 minute, and then it's over to the next sound, and we do that for 10 rounds straight. All right, so 10 songs each. Where's that? Judges, are you ready? Sound systems, are you ready?
Yes, Jammies. Kick it
off.
All right. We could turn up the party again. See it? Yeah. Got the final segment like this, so we could just leave it one way. Yeah. Right now, I'm going to play one of Jamaica's anthem right now. That song you go worldwide and kill whole heap of songs. Let me play one of the anthem right now. Shemo, squeeze out that song there. I could just hold a vibes on it. Turn it up loud.
Janastelins, you don't know what Johnny has going to dance all, Godfather. It's the King sound. The King Jammy superpower scene. Big up man like Atalava, big up Shemo, and big up Tops. The King Jammy's crew with the King Jammy's family. Johnny has going to dance all, Godfather. Say that. King Jammy sensation. My sound. King Jammy's champion sound. Just let the truth manifest itself.
God.
Yes, sire.
Forever be to your brothers true of love. Cause respect is over. Come on. But how could that soundboy be ungrateful?
Yeah,
after all these King Jammy's play. Soundboy.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Jammers, boy, I say, that last year, we prepare for it. And you know why we prepare so much? Treat to go all over the world. Jams are my virgin still, you know, but I'm going to lead some tune tonight, were unbelievable. With some real foundation artists and some young artists. You see the artists on me a player? Listen to the lyrics and listen to the song. Run it.
Yo, son, I got dead tonight, you know. You're the elder. You kill Jamins. We see that. Black Scorpio sit up on the heavenly throne. Hallelujah. Hi, hi. Oh, Jesus. Hi. What is this? See Black Scorpio business and leave it alone. Hallelujah. Hi, 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 hi. What is this? Black Scorpio sound play for we. Hallelujah. Yo, Jammins, you're dead enough. Scorpio, you kill Jammins. You let me hide myself in you, Lord. Hallelujah.
All right, come in.
Yeah. A 10 song me have to play in another room. So me not have to rush it. Me have play some big songs, some real legend song in a dance hall. Barry Brown, talk to them now.
My pretty.
Yeah. Let me talk to the people, them. See it here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Look, my people. Look, what is playing in the love. How many sound have been rocking and that's to we sound.
Yo, lead it out.
People in the West has been acting to keep down the sound. Keep down the sound.
You will out? All right, hold on. Now I don't tell to the world. This is a moment of history to the whole world. I mean, I have some artists who are a real foundation artist. I want to listen keenly.
Ernest Smith, a stamp it out for Black Scorpio. Grab your bungle and run, never mind King Jammies. I and I man forward. Pan a big sound clash. Every sound was clashing, every selector pan the attack. But when Black Scorpio start crush it and crank up a wicked groove, it come like every sound boy hear a voice that said, don't move. Jammies must be a dopey or a sound boy.
Pull up!
Yo, don't over frightening a Scorpio. So listen to what you know.
Sugar minor, daily kids.
Original Sugar Minor.
Don't watch them like a boy the way I get up when there's some look around the front one eye. You know, say when the king coming out, worries. King! Salute to the king I am.
Listen!
Not some boy a early big sentence, but as the dance get longer, not some boy gonna get weaker. Okay. But them a one life, and them alone red things. But it never work.
Big up Sugar Minor, I'm a dope. But here up now, I prepare for this as I tell you now. So you know what I do through a reggae month? I'm going to look for the foundation artists them. The real artists who make reggae music be what it is. Rest in peace, Bob Marley, for you know I use the foundation. When see them artists how me play? Them artists here, are some artists who go all over the world and dominate the world with them songs. Max Romeo.
Fire rain, what me say? King Jam is dead. You know this a dead before the sun. Max Romeo says so. Alright. Go now. Black Scorpio. Black Scorpio put on an iron plate and chase King Jam is out of earth. Black Scorpio put on another plate and chase King Jam is out of earth.
Jesus Christ.
Scorpio. That's some big song you play, but me not make you draw out. I murder you tonight. Listen to this.
Massive! This is Life Parks around things, and I say, I declare, King Jam is superpower, the champion sound, the champion of the world, the one who wear the crown, pound for pound. King Jam is play sweeter, stronger, better. Yo! I feel a little better. King Jam is kill your sound. Officially, I feel a little easier. We put you on the ground. Officially, and I know it is real. This time I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good tune, a good tune. You have the credit for that. But me a better tune on that. I play a tune that. Sorry for you know. But the big master group is and Baba and this. This is a long time me prepare for this, you know. Well, don't play it, me talk to the people. Long time me prepare for that clash. The whole world. Listen what I say. And Baba and this say, come.
Oh, you mean? Black Scorpio, you run it.
You only you could have get this Black Scorpio, Jack.
I knew one day we'd meet for a clash. Sound why I always look forward to that. Look at it now, Black Scorpio got you in the ring. Whoa. And he's going to shut you and show you who is the king.
Master!
It's alright with me to kill a sound boy. We gonna show them Black Scorpio ain't no toy. We gonna throw some the plates to their head. We gonna whip you and make sure you're dead. Black Scorpio is king and will rule.
We rule, boy.
No, it's one king, and it's King Jamins. I'm gonna tell you this. Me I play a big artist right now. One of Jamaican backbone, original John Holt.
Order in the dance. John Holt and King Jam is here to control it. Cause we wear the crown. Pack up your sound. With a poison dart, we gonna stick you in a mystic form. We will murder you. We will make you run until you wanna cry. King Jam, will make you wanna die. Be careful, be careful. King Jam may creep up on you like a thief.
What we gonna do tonight? What?
Kill them, King Jam.
What?
Well, I don't know. Them they are famous sitting, but go on that one there. But you see, I talk about king. Respect king. Jam a virtue. But sometimes you take a king to kill a king, you know. You understand me? So run that tune now.
Yeah, a Black Scorpio, you know, a king yellow man, king of dancehall, Black Scorpio. Yeah, the king sound. Rough boy. Jamming just get killed. And Scorpio hill. And him no less no will. And Scorpio hill.
Yeah! Take a king to kill a king.
Pull up. I'm going to tell you this, Jack. This song is for you.
Hit the road, Jack. Nobody come back no more, no more, no more, no
this song is for you,
Jack. Hit the road, Jack. Nobody come back no more.
Yo.
Black Scorpio, that time should be mindful of.
Well, look. Boy, you try hard, but it not work. No, sir. Because, you know what, I have the answer for that tune, but you know, I'm not going to go there, sir. But I'm not going to follow it. I'm not going to go there, sir. You know what I want you to do? Play on that tune. I want to channel. Run that channel, yeah. Talk to them channel. And me make channel in the first that I double
Pick up your sound and throw it away.
Channel!
Come back and test Black Scorpion another fine day. Sound boy. Pick up your sound and throw it away.
Yeah.
Come cross, man.
All right. Let me play a next bad song. Let me play a song. Bad artist, Johnny Asburn. King Jammy's artist. What? Sure.
I really don't like that. I'm telling you, man.
Let me play the song, you know.
I really don't like that. I really don't like that. No. I really don't like that.
Stop your armor.
You're acting like a yo sound boy. You lose from town to town. You're playing like a zinc fan sound boy. No jammies kill your sound.
Light it up, yeah.
You're flicking air, flicking almost anywhere. We kill sound of country and we kill sound of town. Up, down, downtown. We kill sound all around.
We know.
No! How much tune we got now? About 8? What's it? 6? 7? Really? Now, you know what? I give him that which is see me. So listen this.
In the dance hall, Scorpio take them to the hanging tree. Them two sound and get a proper fix. Someone on 6'6".
Are you hearing this?
You better get out of town. Scorpio string up him sound. You must be foolish, take them try. You better hear what I say. Just back up and run away. You better look somewhere to hide. Come now. Boop off, we kick you right between the eyes. What a surprise. Scorpio kill them. Boop off, we hit you way down on the ground. GBDB sound. No others.
Yes!
Yeah. Respect Richard Stevens. Yeah. But when you play a big song and big singer, you have to play a big singer like them when you play against Jammins.
Now, some boy. What a boy, King. Or the boy I want, sir. Yeah, my man. I bet I go sing. Mr. Radix talking. 7 out.
Yeah, I
and King Jammins is the rhubarb of some boy. Ooh, la. No sound. There's no sound. There ain't no sound. Take the Jammins sound. Give it tonight and ooh, la. No sound. There's no sound. There ain't no sound. Just King Jammins sound. Jammins, little boy, them say. Tonight we kill sound boy.
All right. Tonight. You see that tune I play now? Boy, you're in trouble. Yeah, what? Selector, I'm not about talking enough for you.
Put on another bad Scorpio.
Put on one more bad Scorpio.
Now. Scorpio.
You're talking about big tune. It's a big tune now.
Jaja see them a come. Scorpio are the conqueror. Jaja see them a come. Black Scorpio are the conqueror. They are coming to trap him, but that couldn't work tonight. They are coming to dub him, but sorry, you don't have enough to battle. Jaja see them a come. Black Scorpio are the conqueror. Jaja see them a come. With them, Black Scorpio are the conqueror. Another man over there.
Another sound over there. Come in, Jamie.
Oh, you play a bad yellow man early on. Rate it. But you're a bad yellow man, you know.
Murdering sound.
Number one champion. Lord of mercy. King Jamin. King Jamin still a sound boy this morning. Poof! Move back sound boy, you get a lot of beating.
No man, no sir. Well, I'm from night we are playing now. And the big man in a reggae music, nobody not touch him. So you know the big man though, in a reggae music today. Him still alive, running.
Hear this. Hey, this is no disrespect, no disrespect, no disrespect, sound boy. This is
the big man.
Disrespect, but
listen what I'm saying.
Step aside now, Black Scorpio wants to take over. You don't know what we got. So you're surely gonna lose now. Step aside now, let me teach you how to run a session.
Right? So hold on. So our final two now. All got judges?
Yeah.
One more each, right?
Yeah.
All right, sir. Give thanks to the moment.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to Clarendon now for a bad artist. Cocotte. Original bad boy Cocotte. What? Ready? Go!
Can't touch them, can't touch them.
Ready?
Hey, Mr. Soundman, be careful what you're doing.
Yeah, that.
Hey, Mr. Soundman, be careful what you're doing. Cause if you play with fire, you must get.
Yeah. Hey, you say you go to Clarendon. You know which part me go? Trinidad. And we are Trinidad, me go to that dub here. You see that dub here? I'm sorry for you, I'm afraid right, but last time I played it was in a massacre and put it down Oxford Road down there. So I'm going to play it tonight again for the world. I'm going to listen to that one here. Calypso Rose
King
from
Jammy's
Trinidad.
boy, go home, you done dead. You fallen like a little cock, a dead cock. King Jammy's boy, go home, you done dead. You fallen like a little cock, a dead cock, a dead fowl. This is Honorable Her Majesty Calypso Rose direct from Trinidad and Tobago. King Jammy's dead tonight. Fire, fire, in a King Jammy's wire. Oh, yo, Scorpio hot for so. Man, I tell you, fire, fire, in a King Jammy's wire. Scorpio, coming hard for so. Well, I heard a bawling, like King Jammy's dying. So pack up your song, boy, I don't know what you're trying. Leave Scorpio alone, pack up your box and go home. I go out to laugh, King Jammy, you're dead. And I tell you, fire, fire.
Pull up! Boom, boom, walk on.
No, the last dub there from Jack. It's a custom dub, you know.
After the man them dub a custom dub. Yo, no, that's that don't put up segment and never normal. None at all. Alright. But don't take it from me. Let's go straight over to the judge them now. The final comments from the judges. Father
yeah. Why? Man, go way across the border.
I tell you.
Way across the border. I tell you. I wish King was here. That's all I'm saying. To defend the thing and protect the thing. Jack can't even walk with this man.
Christina, freeze.
Oh boy. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Young men, it's good to see young men of a different era coming up against a giant under another giant's name. But when it comes to this kind of global and international thing, it's a pity that, as Mitty and all of us will say, the pity the father Jammy's wasn't here, because trust me, it's only him could have answered Jack tonight. All right.
So, Admiral Bailey. Yeah. Well, alright. You don't know, say Jammins are my sound for years out years. Jammins are sound when we met the name of. Yeah, over the years, we have killed a whole heap of sound. And it does. I think what happened today, the fact that Jammins have such a big name and a big reputation, I don't think the man them come prepared. I think they'll just come into the clash for say, boy, I want to have this, so it's good enough. And as Scorpio say right through the clash, saying prepare for it, because I know say camera but the pan him and the world of a scene. And a sound have to take the product, brother. King Jammins product is a big product. And I can't just take King Jammins product hard merit. Yeah, and for a man where make me name and bust a King Jammins and bust pan King Jammins sound and kill a whole heap of sound in our time. Me disappointed. Yeah, me disappointed, brother. And that's what me left.
Alright, I say a word, but you don't know the learning experience. I right now the judge them. I'm going to tell you for them.
This February. February is Reggae Month. Come catch the rhythm virtually. We gone online totally on Reggae Month TV. Mega reggae concerts, interesting reggae documentaries, informative reggae symposia, and lots more. Online daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on PBCJ, Jam Vision, JCDC Facebook page, and several other cable and social media platforms. Details available on the Reggae Jamaica mobile app, Reggae Month TV. Tune in daily and be entertained and informed.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat. Up inside your heart. Whoa. Heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. RediscoverJamaica.com.
Pop it on music.
It's Joey.
Them girl, they are really I'm a better. Me a top girl. I me never born in a last week.
Hey guys, it's your real top girl Chanel Mir. Right now representing for PBCJ International Reggae Month. Right there, so we are talking about I will never ever live to impress people. And me don't know how them live to impress people. But just I live my life. PBCJ for life.
We have an apology from Mr. Fitzjackson, also from Portmore. The big churches are in Portmore, you know. We got Senator, how they put you at the back today, you know, the one lady, Senator Motley. How they have you put you in that seat today? How they put you at the back seat today? You chose. Can't tell it. You see, but when she sits before me, Senator, you're much easier on the eye than these men, you know. I can look at a laugh meeting. Mr. Chuck would apologize, but he's withdrawing his apology. It's here. I'm going to take the minutes having been read. Well, before I get to the confirmation, this week we're going to have a fair amount of presentation. It will appear that there's more increasing interest now that the matter has started in Parliament. So we'll take the presentation this week. But I'm going to take the minutes having been read and ask for confirmation from minutes for January 13 and 20. Minister Chuck, since you come with apology. You're at both meetings? I thought. Any corrections? Mr. Bep. And seconded by Minister Chuck? No. Member Paulwell. Mr. Chuck, you know you're the reader in the government, you know. You're assisted by Minister Williams and the AG, but you're the official reader. All right, that's it. I won't take any matters arising from the minutes if there are no corrections. I think we'll try and do the presentation this week. Is that all right? Yeah. So we're going to begin with Minister Chuck's Minister Restorative Justice Program. A nice program come from the Minister of Justice. Listen. Sure. No, when you look at the prison, I'm not into that one. You like to look. It's your cultural habit of send them to Maypen and give. So we have a delegation led by the Chief Technical Director, but Ms. Lindsay will do the presentation. And the officers from Tivoli, Denham Town, and Trench Town. Why you bring those officers? You can't restore the body in Kingston. They're not subject. We have people who are. You send the poor people to frustrate them. These are beyond irredeemable characters you're dealing with down here, so. Send them to Montego Bay and Maypen. So we invite Miss Lindsay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Minister Chang, Minister Chuck, ministers, other ministers, ladies and gentlemen of the House. My name is Andreen Lindsay. I'm the Restorative Justice Program Coordinator at the Ministry of Justice. And today it's my pleasure to be here with you to present on the topic of restorative justice and the zones of special operations. So the definition, just looking at the definition of restorative justice in a nutshell is really a process whereby the victim, the offender, and members of the community are brought together in a process to talk about what has happened and how we can move forward to a successful future. So you see here the working definition, a process whereby all the parties with a stake in a particular offence come together to resolve how to deal with the aftermath of the offence and its implications for the future. And as we go through the presentation, you will see more of what this process entails. Essentially, though, restorative justice is a process that does promote peace through reconciliation, which is key, and it places an emphasis on repairing the harm done to people, relationships, and the community. So why restorative justice? Why has the ministry chosen this program? There was a research conducted by Will Stevenson in 2012, and what it showed is that a review of 36 countries RJ increased the satisfaction of those affected by conflict. It's very effective. Rather than using the system traditionally that we used, using RJ as an alternative method of dealing with crime and violence, there was reduced feelings of revenge. And we know that in Jamaica, the reprisal culture is a big deal, and we find that a lot of crime and violence that is committed is through the sense of reprisal, through the need for reprisal. So RJ addresses these needs, and it was found, as I said, that in a review of 36 countries, it showed these effective measures for RJ. This here is just demonstrating the main differences between RJ and the criminal justice system. You'll see here the criminal justice system asks three main questions. What law was broken, who broke it, and how do we punish them? However, in restorative justice, we're more looking at what harm was done and who was the harm done to, what needs have arisen based on that harm, and what obligations do these needs to be met. So what is the RJ vision and mission? It's there. Essentially, improved and efficient justice system, which is what we all want for us here in Jamaica. Through the delivery of high-quality restorative justice practices across Jamaica, rebuilding relationships and community by fostering empathy, healing, and responsibility for all citizens. Accountability, one thing about restorative justice as well, we will see as we progress, that accountability, taking responsibility for one's actions, is very important. The mission is to institutionalize an evidence-based program to reduce the demands on the justice system. As we know, in the courts presently, there is an excessive backlog of cases, and RJ was designed to really address that need. It's used in schools, in families, communities, and also in workplaces as well. So how did we come to restorative justice in Jamaica? It was really developed after the 2003 West Kingston Commission of Inquiries report. That was a recommendation that came out of there. The MOJ has portfolio responsibility, and the policy was approved in 2012 in Cabinet. The first centre was opened in Tower Hill on February 6, 2012. That's on Olympic Way. And the Law Reform Miscellaneous Amendments Restorative Justice Act 2016 was passed and came into effect in the same year. So how has the ministry progressed since 2012? Here is a map, and you will see that the Ministry of Justice, previously with support from CSJP, has established 11 parish justice centres and 7 restorative justice centres all across the island. These red dots indicate where our centres are. So in total, we're operating out of 18 centres. So we are in every single parish in Jamaica, and in Kingston, there are 6 centres. So you can see we are definitely set up to serve the citizens of this country. I should say, actually, on the slide before, that in each of our centres, we have a restorative justice officer. Also, we have a community liaison officer, and that person's responsibility really is to be the liaison, that key person between the community and the centre and the Ministry of Justice, to build those key stakeholder relationships and to tell us what's happening on the ground so we can act accordingly. The framework for restorative justice in Jamaica. So I mentioned before the Law Reform Miscellaneous Amendments Act. And this act really strives to amend several pieces of legislation, which you will see here. The Criminal Justice Act, the Child Care and Protection Act, Corrections Act, and the Parole Rules. So at this time, we don't have a single restorative justice act which stands by itself. What this act served to do was to really amend the acts that is laid out on this slide. So what are the points of entry into the restorative justice program? How do we take in referrals? Importantly to say, referrals can be taken in or received from anybody in the community. It could be a resident of the community, a teacher, a police officer, a JP, a teacher, and this is at the dispute stage, to the pre-charge stage. And we have found that this stage is really critical because early intervention for restorative justice, this is a key theme, early intervention. What we have found is at this stage, if referrals are made at this stage and we intervene before a charge can even be brought, then we can really look to speak to people, bring them together, and see how best they can work out the situation before it escalates into a bigger situation, which is what we want to avoid. Because oftentimes, the smallest of things can lead to murder and a lot of violence. So we really want to try to get more referrals in at this point so we can reduce those escalations in situations. We also have next the post-charge, pre-trial. Again, we have a considerably amount, and I think at this point, the next couple of slides will demonstrate it, but at this point, we receive most of our referrals at the pre-trial, post-charge stage, which is made by the courts. The parish courts is where we receive the most of our referrals. We also have stage 3, which is the post-conviction, pre-sentencing stage. And this is very underused, and from looking at the research, the data, and my own knowledge, we have not yet had any referrals from the courts for pre-sentencing. The final one is post-sentencing, and this is once the offender, the case has gone through the requisite system, the requisite procedures in the court. What we would want, what the point of entry is that the judge would make a determination that you've been sentenced, but also restorative justice is a tool that can be utilized in your case to address what has taken place. We really want to see more of those. And at the moment, I should say, it will go on in a further slide, but just to introduce the idea to you now, post-sentencing is something that we're really working on with the Department of Corrections. And you will see, we'll demonstrate later how we have worked with them and addressed the needs of inmates in correctional centres once they have been sentenced and are serving their sentence. And I say the needs of offenders, but also the needs of victims, because we're bringing those two together along with the community. Very critical. Okay, so this is just to give you really an idea of the process flow. Once a referral is received, what happens? Details of the parties are taken, we are given an overview of the offence and details of the referral source. So we get the referrals into the centre with the requisite information, and what we then do is arrange what we call a pre-meeting, which is a pre-conference session. In that meeting, we're really constantly doing a risk assessment to ascertain the situation for the victim, for the offender, and for the community representative. Because one thing we know in restorative justice is that timing is critical. So if we try to have an intervention before parties are ready, that can cause a breakdown. So we try to make sure that we're constantly assessing the situation at this stage to see their readiness to move on to the conference where they sit down together. In the pre-conference session, we also explain to them the RJ process, what will happen, and really lay out the expectations so that when they come to the conference, then they know what to expect. Because the one thing we don't want is for people to come very anxious into the they're already anxious, actually, when they come to the conference, but we want them to be relaxed. So we try to give them a full overview of what is going to happen, what are the principles of RJ, what are the expectations, what are the processes, what does the agreement entail. We really give them a full understanding of what will happen and what everyone's roles are. And importantly to add at this stage, what we also want to understand is their expectations, because it's very important for us to know what they would expect. When an offender comes to a pre-meeting, an individual pre-meeting, or when a victim comes, if the victim, for example, says, okay, I'm thinking, okay, I was assaulted, and I think that, what I want is $1 million. When we speak with the offender, we can ascertain, is this a reality or not? Because what we don't want to do is to set up the victim for any disappointments. So we really want to set the expectation and set the tone and understand their expectation in this meeting. Generally, when we have done some research, research has shown that the pre-conference stage is where we spend the most time. So we don't rush through the process and try to get the information. For us, it's not just about getting to the conference. It's really about understanding the needs of our clients. So we take the most time in this part of the process. The third stage of the process is the RJ session itself, the Restorative Justice Conference itself. And this really includes facilitator, a co-facilitator, the victim, the offender, and the representative from the community. And it's in three main stages: the story sharing, an open discussion, and the agreement. With the story sharing, this is an opportunity for the victim and the offender to tell their story. What happened? We have certain questions. What happened? How were you feeling at the time? What has happened since? And what would you like to see happen? And again, these questions are asked of both parties to really understand their side of the story. And for the victim and for the offender, the most of the feedback that we get is that this is the first time they've heard that person speak. So in family conflicts particularly, it's quite moving to be in a session, because when they say, you know, they talk about what led up to the dispute, because oftentimes, you know, the other party doesn't understand the underlying issues that has brought them to this stage. And when they understand it, they come in and you can see that people are really angry and they're sitting with their backs turned to each other. They don't want to talk to the other person. And by the time they tell their stories and we start to unpick what happened, you see people really starting to relax and to understand each other. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this happens in every conference, because, you know, we understand that people are people. And it's not every time that we have a conference there's going to be a successful agreement, because some people, even though in the pre-meeting they appeared to be ready for the session, when we actually get to the conference, you see that they are still very hurt by what took place, and they're not really at that place of readiness, and we understand that. But most times we do, and we have around 92% successful agreement rate. So it is a very successful program, and we'll speak to the numbers as we proceed in the presentation. But it's really moving, and I don't think I can explain enough to see the people changing. It's a transformational program, because as I said, they come in and they're so angry and everything is just so rigid. And to see them kind of just take it down, it really is an experience. And we encourage people, you know, our community leaders, to really come to conferences to observe the process. Because us telling you the process is very good, is very important, but you seeing the process and understanding the process yourself is even better. And then the final stage of the RJ process flow is the follow-up. So after they have come to the agreement, if they come to an agreement, and they sign the documents, and they agree to the terms, I'll pay him this, or I'll do this, we will live good. What we do at Restorative Justice, we also follow up. We don't just say, okay, thank you for coming, see you, go home. No, we monitor, check on the compliance of the agreement for at least kind of 3 to 6 months, on a case-by-case basis, to see how the agreement has progressed. Have they lived up to expectations? Has the agreement broken down? If the agreement has broken down, can we reconvene to see what we can do to get the agreement back on track? So we look at that during the terms of the compliance stage. Very important. And the feedback, we constantly get feedback from parties, and the feedback that we always get is that they really enjoy that part of the process because it keeps them focused as well. So I mentioned earlier about sources of referrals into the program, and you will see here a chart that we have designed, and this will take you really from 2017 to present, well, to the end of last year. You will see how the program has really developed and grown across the years. Just for an example here, from the court in 2017, we had 99 referrals into the program from the courts across the island in 2017. In 2018, that jumped to 745 referrals. And last year, that was 1,450. In 2019, 1,501. So you can see the excessive climb in the numbers. So the court, and I think when we've had sessions with the judges and received feedback, most of what they say is that they have grown in confidence because they have seen the impact that the program can make. They've seen that the impact the program is making, and they themselves receive feedback from our clients saying about how impactful and how satisfying the process have been, and that encourages them to send more referrals to the restorative justice program. And you will see also with the police, in 2017, we had just 31 referrals, and by 2020, last year, we had 228. Now, for me, this is an area that I'm very passionate about because I would have mentioned earlier that early intervention is key. And for community policing, we're aware that police on the ground, they are aware of conflicts and disputes going on. But I think from what I've observed myself is that the referrals sometimes are made too late. They're not intervening early enough. And that's why I think, and again, we will go on to discuss this further as we look at restorative justice in the ZOSO, but the police are a key stakeholder in recognizing what's happening in the communities and bringing those matters to RJ. We really need to work much more close with the police to make sure that we're intervening early enough to make that difference that we want to see in these situations. And just to give you some practice examples, this is just an overview of some of the referrals that we have received into the program. And we'll give you some specific referral examples as well. But from schools, which is at the community entry points, we have received simple things from name calling to more serious issues like bullying. From the police, we've received kind of domestic and family disputes. Parish court, pre-trial stage, assaults. We've even received circuit court matters at the pre-sentence stage, wounding with intent. And then for DCS, post-conviction, post-sentence, murder. So from one end of the spectrum, you can see here just a quick glimpse. From name-calling, restorative justice has been designed in a way that it can deal with the minor issues, but it can also speak to major issues. So from smaller incidences like name-calling, going to assault, and all the way to the end of the spectrum to murder, you can see the wide range of referrals that we receive. And this is just really designed to give you a quick glimpse. But we have much more cases than this. Just last week, myself and my administrator in the unit was collating all of the information about the different crimes or different disputes that come into restorative justice. And we had about 8 sheets of paper because there were so many different things: MDOP, assault, wounding with intent, family dispute, name-calling, bullying, threats, theft, burglary. There's so many. But just to give you a kind of, like I said, a glimpse and a synopsis of the kind of things we deal with. And we will speak to some specific examples just to further give you an understanding. So looking at RJ and the ZOSO specifically now, getting to the meat of the matter, I wanted to start with this quote from a gang member. He says, "A gang is the gateway to freedom. Freedom from parents, rules, and guidance. Freedom to be whatever you want to be on the negative side of life. Being a member of a gang gives power, security from those who would normally beat you up and take advantage of you. When you are a member and have a gun, that is everything." That's profound, and I just want to take a minute for everyone to just really get that. That's actually from a gang member. That's a direct quotation. Here in Jamaica, in one of the downtown communities. So you can see from this, and we know that gangs are formed as they're recruited from as young as 7, even younger than that sometimes. So if this is the view, and this is the view of a gang member, we can see, again, I mentioned earlier about early intervention, and this goes to demonstrate that actually early intervention is key in the schools, in the communities, because if this is the view, if this is how they view being in a gang, a gateway to freedom, that is powerful. And, you know, having a gun is everything, and we have to look at the kind of role models that we have as well, because some young people, a lot of young people, they aspire to that, and we need to create something better. And these social intervention programs that have been designed really are a path to something that is more transformational and positive into the community. So we really need to look at how we can scale up these kind of programs and roll them out across our communities to have a more positive and lasting impact. Okay, so I've added about the ZOSO Act, and I'll briefly go through it. I'm sure all the members are aware of what the ZOSO Act does say. I'll skip that, these 3 slides, which is just an overview of the Act. Okay, so looking at ZOSO and RJ specifically, one of the things I highlighted, I saw in the Act, one of the aims of ZOSO is towards a sustainable development plan for ZOSO communities effectively. And these are the things that we think how ZOSO can benefit from RJ. That's contributing to the reduction of antisocial behavior, building trust between police, authorities, and communities. And again, I'll just pause there to say that one of the things when we speak to people about the police and community policing, one of the most common things they say is that they don't trust the police. And we need to look at how we can build that trust. And restorative justice creates a pathway, how we can use the processes and principles of this social intervention program to build trust and create more improved communities. So you'll see here further, to empower community members, to support building stronger communities, reduce recidivism and prevent recurrences of crime, and to promote inclusivity and give communities an opportunity to dialogue in a safe space. This is another, I just want to again lament on that, this is another bit of feedback that we get that I always listen to and I think is very important. That opportunity to dialogue in a safe space, people really appreciate that because, again, if they feel they can't trust the police, in most instances and can't go to the police, then we have a problem because that means that when things are happening, the police are not being told, they don't know about it. If we can create an atmosphere of trust and where they feel they can dialogue in a safer space, then we're working towards a better community space. So as it relates to RJ in current ZOSO locations, you can see here, so for the 4 ZOSO locations we currently have, in Kingston, we have Greenwich Farm, and we have the Trenchtown RJ Centre in that location, or that will serve that location. Augusttown, I have on this, which was sent a few weeks ago, it was currently closed. I'm sure the members would be aware that on the 2nd of February, last week, Tuesday, we reopened Augusttown RJ Centre, so that's now operational. Denham Town Restorative Justice Centre, and actually Denham Town, represented here today by Miss Campbell, is actually right next to the ZOSO post and work very closely with the ZOSO personnel there on the ground. And for Mount Salem, we also have the St. James RJ Centre. Now, the numbers are not on this slide, but just to give you an idea of the kind of cases or the number of cases that we're dealing with. For last year, Trenchtown had 70 cases and 37 community sensitizations. In Augusttown, we was working through St. Andrew Justice Centre. There was 156 conferences. In Denham Town, we had 87 conferences and 37 sensitizations. And also, Tivoli, we are represented here today as well, Tivoli. Tivoli is not currently in a ZOSO, but we are aware that it can be a very volatile community. And last year, Tivoli had conducted 156 conferences. So again, you see from those numbers, the restorative justice program is truly making impact and really addressing some of the needs that are in the community. You'll see here the representation displayed on a bar chart of what I just spoke about there. Denham Town, Tivoli, Trench Town, and Montego Bay. There for you to see in a bar chart representation. So, RJ challenges in ZOSO communities. So the feedback we've got from ZOSO community is that security considerations for RJ staff. Because some staff have reported that in some communities, there are times where they feel unsafe. They've heard gunshots firing. You're thinking, is it safe to leave the center? Is it safe to return to the center? So there is some feelings of insecurity within the community sometimes. So we're very mindful of that. As it relates to ZOSO and RJ opportunities, though, in communities of ZOSO, as I mentioned earlier, crime prevention should be viewed as a long-term goal. Crime reduction should be viewed as an immediate need. And RJ can be applied as a long-term preventative process, but can also address the need for immediate crime reduction. Because as we know, when it comes to crime prevention is not an overnight thing, and we see that happening right now in the country. It's more of a long-term goal, how we can work towards reducing crime or preventing crime over a period of time. However, when it comes to reducing crime, this can be viewed as an immediate need. And what we can do with RJ, we can use RJ to address the immediate needs of the community with a view to reducing those numbers. So how? So the opportunities flowing from the Act here, you will see. On the left, we have the sections, some sections there, 2 sections of the ZOSO Act. And on the right, this is where we have identified the opportunities that can come from restorative justice. Remedial work is necessary to mitigate feelings of retribution, either against the state or other individuals. And as I had alluded to earlier, what we have found is that a lot of violence, crime and violence in the country does come from the feelings of retribution. So something happens, you don't feel that the traditional justice system has really served the situation as how you would like it to be served. So you think, jungle justice, I'm going to take actions into my own hands. But what we have found is if we address the feelings of how people are feeling and they have the opportunity to sit down with those stakeholders, with the victim, with the offenders, with the members of the community and talk about it, then that can mitigate. And again, I just rush to say that this will not work in all situations. There is no method, I think, that can work for every situation. Each is on a case-by-case basis. But we have seen and we know that when RJ is applied to certain situations, this can assist the situation and mitigate against an escalation of crime and violence. And again, when we look at arrest and detention in the Act, what we feel would be beneficial is that when individuals were released into the community from being arrested, instead of just saying release and go, what we can do there is an RJ intervention. Because when people are just released and go, they feel angry. They think, okay, I was arrested, nothing has happened. And again, they feel that they want to do something to escalate. And that could be against, we've had instances in the ZOSO where the community and the ZOSO personnel have caught up because of those feelings of anger, of hurt. And again, the opportunity to sit down and discuss these issues and these matters will not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, mitigate against an escalation in the situation. So looking at key strategies and opportunities. Again, from what we have just discussed going on from there, an increase in RJ case conferences. And what will this do? This will require an increase in referrals through strengthened partnerships with the security forces and other stakeholders. And I must say the staff who work in the downtown areas, they work very closely with the personnel. When I call downtown or when I visit downtown, I can always pop into the police station and they know the staff's names down there. So I know they have a very close partnership. I too myself speak with Sanko all the time, so I know I try to keep abreast of what's happening as well in the communities, and try to influence the police and other stakeholders to increase the referrals to the justice centres, to the restorative justice centres, so that we can address some of these feelings of dissatisfaction. An increase in RJ parent sessions to really educate parents about alternative parenting methods. In the traditional justice system, this is something that is often missing. When a victim and offender goes to court, a sentence is passed, and oftentimes it's just the victim and the immediate offender. But with restorative justice, it's about looking at the bigger picture and how can we also speak to the parents, the families, the community members, and alleviate their anger as well. And then an increase in RJ youth sessions. And I've put here 5 years old. I spoke earlier about early intervention and losing our young people to gang warfares. But really what we need is a re-socialization strategy. And if we can educate young people from an earlier age and engage them in positivity and sustain it. And I say that because I don't think it's enough to just say we're doing a few sessions today and maybe do some next year. We have to have a sustainable approach. Consistency is very important, because for young people to learn and relearn a new strategy, this is something that takes time. It's not going to be something that's an overnight process. So we really need patience and understanding and a strategy that can be consistent and ongoing. And then finally, just to say that training is another thing. Increased training in restorative justice practices. So last year, myself and another of the RJ officers conducted training to 44 personnel from the Zoso communities. And this was something that we had planned to roll out across last year. We started in March. And I think it literally, as soon as we had finished that one and was to move to the others, then COVID-19 came and we had to suspend our efforts, which is a shame, because the feedback we got from those 44 officers, they said that they felt that a program like restorative justice should really be given to all of the Zoso personnel, so that everyone has an understanding and has this as an additional tool, not the answer, but an additional tool in their toolkit of how to deal with conflicts in the Zoso areas. I mentioned before strengthening partnerships, and that's with JCF and JDF to work closely with RJ centres in the respective communities. And again, I can't mention enough about early intervention, because I truly do think that early intervention is the key. Just as a side, in the UK, I was a child protection social worker, and one of the things we practiced, as soon as a school, for example, made us aware about a family in conflict or a family experiencing difficulties, straight away we would go and visit that family and design a package of support for them. And what we found is that the earlier we were able to intervene with those families, it was less likely that we would remove the children from them. So again, I tried to follow this principle in RJ as well, applying things very early and having those interventions set up to address the needs of the communities. And finally, for RJ to attend meetings, this for me is, again, a very important aspect of working together. The RJ representatives, the officers that are in these communities, it's our view for them to be invited to weekly meetings. And that's a two-way thing, for us to give information to the stakeholders, and also for the stakeholders to give us information. So if they referred a case, for example, we can give them an update. How is the case gone? What's happened? Where is it at? What's the stage? And again, if they have new cases, to refer those to us for our intervention. So I would say, all in all, RJ really applying restorative justice in the Zoso communities, which we have done so far, but on a minimal scale we have done this, and we have not done it in any strategic way. What we need to do is really scale up our operations and look to see how we can apply restorative justice strategically in the zones of operations. And really the Ministry of Justice and our Honourable Minister is very committed to carrying out, especially the training sessions, because we believe training is one of the key things that we need to do. And money, I could hear our minister there saying funding. And funding is obviously critical, and I hope that the members of the House today can see the benefit of this program and look to see how we can add additional funding to the program to carry out some of these strengthening of partnerships and increasing the trainings across the zones of special operations. So thank you very much. At this time, if the speaker would permit, I would like I have with me today here Miss Lena Campbell, RJ Officer, and Miss Sasha Ebanks, and I've asked them to really give some examples. I wanted the House to understand the kind of conflicts that we deal with, so they have prepared some live examples of the conflicts they've dealt with, and if the speaker would permit, I'd like them to just have a few minutes to be able to relay those instances. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Minister Chuck, Minister Chang, and the other members of the House. My name is Lena Campbell, and I am a center manager in the Denham Town area. I will focus a little on the value and the importance of the restorative justice in volatile communities, and especially in the zones of special operations. As we know, crime and violence seem to be the order of the day, I would say, in Denham Town community, where I am daily. There are days when I wonder if I would be able to go into Denham Town to conduct my daily work. And at other times, I'm thinking, will I be able to get out of Denham Town after hearing some gunshots? You know, those are real experiences for us in those volatile communities. The only thing sometimes that really gives me hope is the people who really need our help there, and also when we see the soldiers and the police who are there to offer their service of protection. Ladies and gentlemen, we are aware that there is a different kind of culture in these zones of special operation that we should not forget. That many Jamaicans are not aware of that. The culture that have been fed and nourished over the many years cannot be easily eradicated unless serious alternative education and re-socialization measures are done in these communities. The value of building relationships, extending kindness, love, and peace seems to be the least in our crime-fighting strategy or methods, which are the principles that the restorative justice process is founded on. The restorative justice and the police, where I am at, need to be working more closely for a positive impact on the communities in the zones of special operations and by extension across Jamaica. I will share with you two examples of two cases that I've dealt with involving the security forces. One was with a soldier and a teenager who was resisting arrest, and while doing so injured the soldier by bursting his mouth. The matter was referred to us by the court. Both parties brought their supporters, 2 supporters each. In that session, one of the teenager supporter was a student lawyer who came from that community, and she was a family member. The behavior and attitude that was demonstrated by the family members and the offender was undesirable. The important thing that came out of the conference was that even though their behavior was negative, the victim, who was the soldier, was able to respond in a positive way, and the matter reached a resolution. In that space, the community, support persons, and the victim were able to counsel with the teenager offender, where he was able to accept accountability for his actions. And positive counsel was given to him by the community supporters and the soldier himself, who was a victim. And to hear the soldier being able to counsel this young teenager who was going down the wrong path, you know, it was very interesting. We had another scenario with two police officers. They came upon a teenager who was throwing bottles and stones in the night at some other girls on the street. Now, they said that there was no light in the community at that time, so the whole community was dark. The officers could not control the situation by speaking to the teenager who was throwing the bottles and stones. They told her to desist from what she was doing, but she refused to stop doing what she was doing. She continued, even though there were two officers present. The officers had to resort to firing their firearm in the air to control the crowd and to apprehend the individual who was throwing the bottles and stones. In carrying out that act, one of the police officers was hit by the teenager with a stone she had in her hand to his face and his head that caused him and the teenager to fall to the ground. While on the ground, two other teenagers who were family members attacked the officer, where he was then receiving other blows to his body. In that incident, both officers were assaulted. Here again in this space, in the Restorative Justice Conference, both sides were able to express their feelings and persons were better understood by each other. The question was asked by one of the facilitators to the three teenagers that were charged, how the police could have handled the situation better. Was there a better way they could have dealt with the situation? The three teenagers sat there thinking. Then one said to the facilitator, "No, miss, it could not have been handled better." This question was asked because the parents who were there was upset about how the officers had dealt with the situation. Reaching this point, they were now open to counsel, and the officers could give guidance with the parents who were also present. The restorative justice space may seem simple, but it is a dynamic space to see and understand things differently. We have a culture to fix in these communities. The restorative justice process teaches that we should not do things for the people, but to do things with them. The Minister of Justice always refers to Jesus' method of forgiveness and repentance whenever he speaks on the topic of restorative justice. I will also mention that Jesus did things for the people, and he also did things for them, with them. He went into their space and taught them, transforming their lives. That is what restorative justice is about. The Restorative Justice Center in Denham Town have realized that we are there to do things with the members of the community. If we want transformation in these communities, we must institute a preventative method in reducing crime and violence in the zones of special operations. The very persons who may have caused crime and violence to grow and multiply in these communities are the persons who are to be targeted to help solve the problem. And these persons are parents. Teenagers and young adults do many crime and violence. Parents are responsible for many of the atrocities that have happened in these communities because they lack positive parental skills. In Denham Town, we have initiated a restorative justice 2-day parental workshop that had commenced in June 2020. We were able to reach 80 parents. A club was formed out of the parents who were trained in these 2-day workshops. We have heard many and dangerous stories in these workshops of the escapades that parents have participated in with their children who are going against the law. I will share some feedback with you as to what these sessions have done for these parents. The president of the club states, when he was asked what impact the sessions had on him, he said, The sessions were very informative. I learned how to be a better father, husband, and a better man. I learned how to relate not just to my children, but to other children, how to control my anger, and to be patient with children. He also states, I was not giving my son the attention he needed because of his behavior. I thought he was bad. He wanted to take up scamming. He also had a ring that he wears. His aunt told me it was a guard ring because of the company he was involved with. After attending the restorative justice parenting sessions, I reached out to my son and practiced what I had learned. He continued. My son told me that no one was giving him any attention, so he was doing the negative things to get his father's attention. At that time, he said, I was not showing him any love as a father. After talking to him, encouraging him, he gave the ring to his grandmother, and she threw it away. His grades in school was at 54% and had climbed to 87% after he gave him the attention that he needed. He is now 18 years old and working in construction. The father said, now we have a strong relationship. Anywhere he's going, he calls me to let me know. This program has helped me to build a bond with my 3 children. The Restorative Parenting Club have taught me how to be a good leader and to be thankful for what I have. I feel excited about what I have learned. The Secretary of the Restorative Parenting Club also states, my life has been changed. I see things differently. I have grown spiritually, and it builds my self-esteem and gives me confidence. I make greater effort to give attention to my son's needs. I now make sure that he is protected and is not involved with the wrong persons. This is the first program that I have participated in the community. I am now empowered and motivated. Since the Restorative Parenting Club has been formed, the members have accomplished the following. They have had prayer breakfasts for the community, praying for the community, for the borders that they say separates them from entering into one section, one road. They cannot go. They are praying that this situation will be fixed. They have also conducted healing circles on Sundays where parents can come and speak of their parental problems and share and encourage each other. They have delivered 63 care packages to the elderly in the community using their own resources and asking others for help to assist. Their slogan in this venture was, RJ have taught us how to be kind. Our general objective of this workshop is to provide support for parents, guardians, and other caregivers via information on the current positive child rearing practices within the Denham Town community, to discuss with parents the rights of a child and the national vision for parenting, that every parent in Jamaica, by birth, adoption, or guardianship, recognizes and accepts their duty to ensure that the rights of a child are always promoted, that the child is always loved and provided with opportunities and resources within a safe, caring, and nurturing environment to achieve his or her full potential and ultimate fulfillment. And this is a quote from the National Parenting Policy 2009. Utilizing the restorative practices and circles in the home environment effectively and incorporating the use of circles in each topic that is presented in the parenting workshops. Ladies and gentlemen, this program that I've presented to you, we need funding at this time to continue. We have had to pause because we could not continue to provide the refreshment that is needed. Also in regards to the contribution of care packages for the elderly that the parents have come together to achieve, we would want this venture to be an ongoing one. I have all confidence that this restorative justice parenting program, if continued, will help reduce crime and violence in these communities. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, Parents must take accountability for their children's actions by learning what is right to guide and nurture their children. If we tackle crime and violence in these volatile communities by targeting parents, we will be saving not only the children, but also the parents. It would not only stop there, but also our children and ourselves, while at the same time reducing crime and violence in our country, Jamaica. I thank you.
Go ahead, AG.
The presentation? Thank you, Chairman. Just quickly, didn't get your name. I was looking for the tag.
Lena Campbell.
Ms. Campbell and Ms. Lindsay, thank you for the very informative presentation. You began by saying that the culture in the community, a certain kind of culture, but you didn't really specify what it is. Got glimpses into it as you went into the presentation, but very often when measures are taken to deal with communities, particularly those that meet the criteria for a ZOSO intervention, concerns have been raised in the past as to whether they are being targeted. I remember, for example, when the Mount Salem ZOSO was declared, there was a hue and cry about a targeting and not necessarily that the government wanted to go in to deal with it. Just want to hear from you what it is that this culture looks like. That's the first thing. You also spoke about negative behavior when you had asked the question as to whether the situation could have been handled differently. But again, you didn't say what the behavior was that was labeled as negative. And then thirdly, you highlighted that parents are responsible for most of the atrocities. Want to hear a little bit more of that? And in mentioning the restorative Justice Parenting Club, I want to know if you do any work in conjunction with the National Parenting Support Commission, or whether anything has been explored along that line. But very, very interested in hearing for the record what it is that you see and how do you define that culture. Because if you listen to commentaries, when the Parliament is passing laws, especially where security measures are concerned, the first point is whether there are going to be human rights abuses and exactly what is happening, and that, you know, there is stereotyping and targeting of the communities. And it begs the question as to whether collectively we are aware of the different features of different communities in the island. So I've loaded you up, but so important is the presentation, because you appreciated that an entire side of the ZOSO has to do with the social intervention, assessing the effectiveness and what differently can be done. So thank you.
The culture is what I will speak on first. It is as if children in that community, which I speak of, Denham Town, is as if they were born knowing what is crime and violence, how to be violent. Give you one scenario yesterday evening that just happened. I was coming out of the center to go home, and I saw two little boys. They're about 10, can't be older than 10 years old. And I saw one of them came up to the other and said, he had stones in his hand. 3 big stones. And he said, stab me now, stab me now. He was saying this to the other one, and the other one was just standing there, and, you know, his face was screwed up and all of that. And I was wondering what was happening, so I went up closer, and he kept on saying to the other one, and even when I was coming as an adult, he did not stop. He continued to push himself on the other one and said, stab me now, stab me now. And so I said, when I reached up to them, I said, stop it. Even that did not stop them. I said, stop what you are doing. Even that did not stop them. Now, another young man was coming behind me. And so when I passed them and I realized that they weren't responding to me at all. So the young man came and he said, no, break this up. because he was still in the other one face. Break this up. And he had to physically took one and take him around the other side. The other one still followed him around where the young man took him. And he said to him, he has a knife. Now I was saying to him, what little boy could have a knife? What is he talking about? And he said, sir, I have a knife. And he said he has it in here.